It's Nancy Pelosi's birthday today, 80 years old. I tend not to want to smash people on their birthday, but I'm going to make an exception because this bailout is not a bailout. This is a bank robbery of epic proportions in which the Republican Party and their weak, bought-off, corrupt opponents, the Democrats, who enable this Republican treachery by being complicit, are allowing the same scoundrels on Wall Street. And by the way, Wall Street doesn't only mean literally the street, Wall Street. Wall Street is also synonymous with the financial industry, corporate America, Boeing, you name it. You have a pandemic right now that, this is just astounding. Look at this. The United States is on pace to have the worst coronavirus outbreak of any country. You see? U.S. right there. We just keep going up there. We are on pace to have a worse outbreak and death count than where it started, China. Because we have not had a full lockdown, which a lot of you do not like me calling for, civil liberties, big government, whatever, I've called for it. I still think it should happen because the proof is in the pudding. Just look at this. Comparing Santa Clara, California, which early on, emergency was declared, work from home, restrictions on public gatherings, it started going down, the cases of coronavirus. Whereas Miami and the state of Florida waited and waited and waited. Emergency declared, but no shelter in place. Going up and up and up, that purple line, down in Florida, Miami specifically. Finally, they set a shelter-in-place order a few days ago. So this is the difference between areas that have had lockdowns and areas that have not. It's although a lot of things are not known about this coronavirus, what is known is sheltering in place as much cabin fever as we have. And we have it. Cabin fever is a lot better than dying. Cabin fever is a lot better than going to the emergency room and the ICU for days and days or weeks and weeks. So if you can stay home, because a lot of scoundrels are still trying to get their employees to come in. And in the midst of this, when the Republican Party offered a proposal that was egregious, $1,200 is not enough money for anybody. $1,200 as a one-time payment is not enough money. In New York City, that's not even going to cover full rent for most people, not to mention your other bills. In a lot of places, it might cover your rent, but what about your car payment? What about your groceries? What about your medication? What about miscellaneous? So we're supposed to thank you for $1,200 that's going to get taxed? By the way, the $1,200, you're not even getting it right away. You have to have a direct deposit. Your account has to be already connected to the IRS from direct deposit for it to be deposited into your account imminently. It's going to take months for those that do not have direct deposit with the IRS. Let me ask you a question. You know many people in Detroit, in Milwaukee, in Flint, in poor communities that have direct deposit with the IRS? They're not even going to get this money in time for April 1st. There's no moratorium on rent. There's no moratorium in car payments. There's no moratorium on mortgages. There's no moratorium on electric, utilities, student loans. $1,200. While on paper, they gave corporate America, i.e. Wall Street, Boeing, big corporations that have more than enough money. By the way, Amazon, Boeing, Wall Street banks, all of them that are getting not $500 billion. That's how it's being reported. It's $500 billion, but there's a clause that gives Steve Mnuchin, i.e. Donald Trump, i.e. Mitch McConnell, authority to basically take that $500 billion and allow the Fed to basically triple that 10 times. There are estimates that when it's all said and done, this $500 billion corporate bailout provision is going to exceed $4 trillion, and there are some that I trust that are saying this is going to go as high as $6 trillion. Not to you, to corporate America. There is a weak clause that will block CEOs and these shareholders from doing stock buybacks temporarily. There is a clause, we're supposed to feel good about this, that the Inspector General is going to oversee this corporate slush fund, and 5 lawmakers who are corrupt themselves. By the way, you know who was overseeing the 2008 bailout? The Inspector General and a select few lawmakers. Oh, I can't wait, the Inspector General, to write the report that Wall Street took the money, bought themselves a couple more yachts, give them a slap on the wrist until the next crisis. There's no enforcement. And by the way, for the big corporations, there is no stringent requirements that they have to keep all of their workers. So they're getting all this money. They don't have to keep all their workers. The money to small business is laughable. And of course, who the government is classifying as small business is quite selective. I'm going to let my progressive colleague, well, let me show you Nancy Pelosi's window dressing on this egregious bill. And it's her birthday, but I don't care.
Major corporations or companies or anyone, the direct condition is that, for example, with the airlines, that the money that is given to the airlines is given to the workers directly. It's just a pass through. It goes directly to the workers, and have some conditions on for other money that goes to any of these companies, that they have no buybacks, no dividends, no bonuses, all of those kinds of concerns are so offensive that happened before with federal funds infused into their entities. So we're very happy about all of that. One of the differences, as I said, their corporate down, we're bubble up from workers. I think was demonstrated last night. Can you believe that I think it was every Republican, I think 49 Republicans last night voted in the Senate to deprive those on unemployment insurance of the additional $600 a week. How could it be that in this time of stress and strain and uncertainty about health and life and livelihood, that they would vote that way? But I think it does demonstrate the point that I made, that not about workers first. But the bill got to be there, and I thank the Senate Democrats for using the leverage they have with the 60 votes. I take pride in what we had in our House bill that is in the Senate bill.
Nancy Pelosi is, with a straight face, saying that the corporate bailout, which is not $500 billion, like I just explained, anywhere from $4.2 to $6 trillion, because these provisions allow for the $500 billion to be leveraged 10 times. And Nancy Pelosi, with a straight face, is saying that the money to Boeing, Wall Street, corporate America is just a pass-through? Just a pass-through. There is strings attached that the employers, the CEO at Boeing, are just passing it through. You know, what's another way of saying that? Is that trickle down? It's going to trickle down from the CEOs of Boeing and Amazon and Walmart. It's just a pass-through. Obviously, that's total bullshit. But if it was just a pass-through, why are you having a corporate bailout in the first place? If these employers, as you say, are just holding the money to then distribute it to their employees, which is just insulting the American people's intelligence, why would you not demand? No, we're not doing a corporate bailout at all. We're giving direct cash payments to the American people. Boeing's employees, Amazon's employees. Name your pick. Even ExxonMobil's employees. We will talk about big corporations later on. And we will hold up the bill. There won't be a bill unless the first bill is just about working people. Democratic Party controls the House of Representatives. They could stop this whole thing. Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.